What's up, Katie Baz, and welcome back to yet another tutorial. This is a follow-up sewing tutorial for this A-line shirt dress that has this two-dimensional plain on top, print on the bottom with a ruffle around the neckline. If you'd like to see how I cut and stitch this dress all together, make sure to keep on watching. If you are seeing this video before the 4th of March 2024, then you are just in luck. This weekend, the new PDF corset pattern launched on the website, and this is a PDF sewing pattern that goes from a UK 4 to 20. It has two variations of neckline, the straight neckline across the front and the sweetheart neckline, and it also laces up at the back. You can pre-order this digital pattern for $4.99 up until the 4th of March. It also comes with a complimentary sewing guide for free, and I'm going to leave all links below. However, after the 4th, it's going to go up to the regular price of $14.99. In this tutorial, I am going to be sharing how to cut and stitch this shirt dress. So I'm going to link the pattern tutorial if you haven't seen it already, because in that one I shared how to make the sewing patterns for all the parts of the shirt dress. And in this particular video, I'm going to be using the patterns to go ahead to cut and stitch the dress. Before we get into cutting, these are the materials that I work with. I'm going back to my first love, which is Ankara print. It is a cotton based print, so it's nice and comfortable for the spring summer, and I ended up using 4 yards because of the sleeve and the fullness that the shirt has. To contrast the print of the Ankara, I picked up this light pink cotton fabric, and I only ended up using like a meter or so. I also got some pink small buttons to sit on the front and on the sleeve, as well as some interfacing to go around the collar and the cuffs of the shirt dress. With the sewing patterns all pinned onto my fabric, I'm going to go ahead and cut the top half with the plain pink material and then the bottom half with the Ankara fabric. If you haven't liked and subscribed already, make sure to do so at this point. But once I'm done cutting out all of the pieces, off camera I went ahead to fuse the front extension, which is going to become my button stand or placket. That will just give a lot more structure to the front of my dress. I also went ahead to cut the back in the print, as well as the ruffle that goes around the front and back of this piece. Then I also cut my cuff pieces. I decided to cut them on a fold and fuse them as well, so they have really nice body. My sleeve I cut in Ankara as well, and then for the collar and the upper part I cut in the plain material. So from afar it looks like I'm wearing a shirt and then a dress over it. These are also fused with interfacing, and for the front extension edge on the front piece I added some interfacing as well. For my back, I didn't have enough fabric, so I ended up actually cutting 2 pieces and then joining them together using a French seam. To the main focus of this video, which is the actual construction or sewing of this shirt dress, I have my front and back pieces with wrong sides facing each other, because I'm going to be doing the French seam technique, which is when you sew on 1/2 centimeter seam allowance with wrong sides facing each other, and then you go back in and fold your seam again, putting right sides together. That way you're concealing the raw edge in the seam. And whenever I'm doing like really fine fabrics, I like to try out this technique because you don't need to overlock or anything, and the seam just lays very neat on the inside of your garment. Now I'm going ahead to join the bottom section, which I have cut in Ankara. These I'm going to be joining the front and the back with right sides facing each other, and I'm going to be joining the shoulder and the side seam on the 1 centimeter seam allowance, which is how much seam allowance I added to my sewing pattern. After joining them using a regular straight stitch, I'm going to go ahead and overlock all of the seams so it's ready to actually be connected to the ruffle piece and the top section. After giving all of the seams a press, both the shoulder and the side seams, this is what my shirt dress is looking like. I'm going to move on to attaching the ruffle detail. This at this point is just a super long rectangular piece, and I'm going to finish off the bottom and side edges. That is just folding and stitching, and then on the top edge I have stitched with the loosest stitch on my machine, and I'm just gathering in this long piece. This took a bit of time because this piece was actually very long, but the longer it is, the fuller your ruffles will be on your shirt dress. This I'm just going to connect it to the front and back slanted seam, so it's one continuous ruffle that goes from the front across the shoulder to the back and to the other side of the front of the shirt dress. And it helps that the extension of the front of the shirt of the dress has the interfacing, so I know I don't need to put the ruffle detail there. This I'm just going to stitch down first before I will connect it to the top half. The ruffle detail does not go into the front extension. That way you can go back in and fold that part for the buttons and the buttonholes. After stitching the ruffle detail lightly, this you can do by hand or with like a loose stitch just to keep it in place. I'm not going in to connect the top section. This part I say is very important because it's going to be very visible if it's not done correctly. So I match notch points together, shoulder seam to shoulder seam, center back to center back, and center front to center front edges. And I'm going to take this to my machine. And because I've already roughly tacked down my ruffle piece onto the bottom section, I don't have to think about, oh, is this in place? Have I stitched it in? It just takes away that guesswork. Now I'm sandwiching all 3 layers together, sewing all the way around until I arrive at the other side of my center front edge. To finish that seam, you can either overlock it or use the bias tape technique like I'm doing here, just so everything is nice and tidy on the inside. After giving my piece a press, this is what the shirt dress is looking like, and I just love how the plain and the print contrast so well, and the ruffle just adds a very playfulness to this shirt dress, which I'm so here for. The next thing I'm going to work on is the placket, or the front extension, where the button and buttonholes would sit on the front of the dress. Off camera, I've gone ahead to fold this and press it down. I've just pinned the fold because this I would need to stitch on both sides. I'll be sewing on the folded edge, sort of inside the front of the dress, and this is going to keep the fold laying flat. You want to sew on a very narrow edge stitch, I'll say like 0.2 centimeters, and have it really nice and straight because it will be visible on the front of your dress. After doing this on both sides, I'm going to go ahead to work on the collar, which is a bishop collar in this scenario. These I've already fused with interfacing on the wrong side of the fabric, and I'm going to be sewing up the center back edges first, so I have it as one continuous piece. And then I'm going to be putting right sides together of the collar pieces in place, connecting and matching notches together, and then I'm going to actually be sewing up the top edge because that is the side that is on the top of the shirt, and that side you want to have a clean and beautiful finish. After sewing that on the 1 centimeter seam allowance, I'm going to turn this inside out and give it a nice press. Have it nice and flat, nice and crisp, because this I would be sewing to the neckline of the shirt dress. To make my life a lot easier, I actually went ahead to fold and iron 1 centimeter along the bottom edge of my collar piece. This you don't necessarily have to do, but once you have that folded piece or part in place, you just have to stitch along the fold, and then when you go ahead to finish the other side of the collar, you just essentially just use that to conceal your seam. This I'm going to be sewing along the fold line or on the 1 centimeter seam allowance. I'm going to sew it like this first, and once I'm done sewing this side of the collar, I'm going to go ahead and tuck away this particular seam and use the other side of the collar to tie that seam. I'm sewing on the right side of the shirt at this point, so I know I have full control, and this is a seam that, because it's visible, I want it to be very, very nice and neat. After pressing the collar seam where the collar was attached to the shirt dress, this is what it looks like. This is a closer look of the front. It's not even 100% perfect, if I'm being entirely honest. There's definitely room for improvement, but so far so good. I am happy with the outcome. I'm going to go in to work on the sleeve, and because the sleeve has a placket on this side, I am going to transfer that with chalk and cut along that placket line, because That opening is going to allow me to button up my sleeve once I attach the cuff. And the cut has 2 points that go towards the side, one to the left and one to the right. That's going to allow me to actually open up that cut when I am finishing it up. This I'm going to be using a very unconventional and non-traditional method, and this way I am sewing with a bias along the right side of the shirt at this point, and once I turn to the other side, trying to keep it as straight as possible along the top edge. Once I arrive at the other end, do a back stitch to secure that seam. I'm going to go to the back of the shirt and then fold in the bias tape twice to conceal that seam, and this is going to help me finish the cut of the placket that I did earlier on, and also opens up like a little slit almost on this bottom hem of, or this bottom section of my sleeve. Take your time sewing the top edge because you don't want to have to do this twice. You want to avoid any puckering or ruffles, but this is what it looks like. I have a more technical sleeve placket tutorial. I'm going to link it for you guys if you want to try that one instead of this method, but this is my go-to method when I just want to do a very simple and basic placket. Now I've put right sides together of my sleeve, I've stitched that up and overlocked it, and then along the hemline I'm actually going to be gathering it in using the same technique I did with the ruffle, which is use the longest stitch on the machine, sew that in, and then pull the threads to gather in the fabric. And once it's gathered, I know it's ready for the cuff to go in. The cuff I have folding right sides facing each other, and I'm going to sew up the sides first. Once I have the sides stitched up, I'm going to turn it inside out and give it a press to relax all of the stitching, as well as fold in the top edges by 1 centimeter. This way I know how much I have to stitch in the cuff. With the gathered hemline of the sleeve sandwiched into or tucked into the open edge of the cuff, I'm going to be sewing this together. You can either do this in 2 steps like I stitched the collar piece, or you can do it in one go if you're able to catch all 3 layers, so both sides of the cuff as well as the gathered hem. That way you attach your cuff in one continuous stitch. But here I'm just going in to attach the sleeve into the armhole of the dress, putting right side, so like right side of the sleeve facing right sides of the dress, ensuring I put the left sleeve on the left side and the right sleeve on the right side. And these I'm going to sew together on the round on a 1 centimeter seam allowance, overlock that afterwards before moving on to the hemline. The hemline, I'm just doing the simple technique of rolling and stitching because I've already overlocked the hemline of the dress off camera. And then the final step is actually to add the buttonholes and the buttons. I have marked where I want my buttons to sit. I ended up having 7 buttons on the front and then 2 buttons each on the cuff of the shirt dress. You want to have your very first top button, you want to have the buttonhole horizontal, and then the rest of the buttonholes will be vertical. That's sort of like how buttonholes on shirt and shirt dresses typically are. The final step will be to mark and stitch in all of the buttons that this shirt dress has, press any other seams, and this is what it looks like all done. I feel so comfortable in this shirt dress. It's loose, it's comfy, and still stylish at the same time. This is something that even later on in the year when it gets warmer, I can wear with like a pair of shorts or on its own if it's like a beach or like a pool day. But I love the fit. It's super cute as well. And I'm going to link the pattern tutorial for anyone who hasn't seen it below. But if you enjoyed watching this video, do give it a thumbs up. Don't forget to tag me on socials at Kim Dave Designs if you do recreate this. And until my next tutorial, have a good morning, afternoon, and evening wherever you are. Bye.